It says determine whether the statement forms in 16 through 24 are logically equivalent. In each case, construct a truth table and include a sentence justifying your answer. Your sentence should show that you understand the meaning of logical equivalence. So the key difference between this video and the last video is that now we have P, Q, and R, which means that we have to set up our truth table a little bit differently here. And again, we need to construct a truth table first in order to determine whether or not these two statement forms are logically equivalent. Okay, so we're going to start with 3 columns. So now we need to list off all of the different arrangements for the truth values of P, Q, and R. Okay, so now that we listed those, we need to build these compound statements here. And what's really important is to keep in mind the order of operations. So this parentheses tells me that we need to do P and Q first. We need to do this operation first before we do the second AND operation here. That's going to be important for when we build this truth table and we build these two compound statements separately. And at the very end, we're going to compare whether or not those two columns are the same. So first we're going to start with P and Q, which means we're only comparing the first 2 columns and determining whether or not they're both true. So now we can determine the truth value of the entirety of this green compound statement. And we can do that by comparing the 3rd and the 4th columns and determining whether they're both true. So next we need to build this red statement form. And by order of operations, we should focus on Q and R first, which means we're going to compare the 2nd and 3rd column to the left. And finally, to do P and Q and R, we have to compare the 1st column and the 6th column and determine whether or not they're both true. Okay, so now we can see that the green column and the red column have the same truth values. And so that means that regardless of what the truth values of P and Q and R are, the truth values of these two statement forms are the same. So we can say because the green and red columns have the same truth value, the two statement forms are logically equivalent. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.